What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at some older and some newer Last Ronin Neca toys in the face of the Last Ronin with the Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, and Raphael first to fall. Now, I'm not all in on this line. I do like getting different versions of Mikey as the Last Ronin, but I do like getting different versions in teams of the Turtles, so that's what I did here. It just took a while to get all of them. So like I said, some of them may have been out longer than others, but I was waiting to get all four, and I just got these two in the mail today. So first up, I don't know what this numbering system is. Like Donnie and Mikey came out at the same time, so why is Mikey 11 and Donnie's 5? And then this one just says first to fall, so whatever for Raphael. But this one is Michelangelo before he becomes the Last Ronin. There you go. You can see a little read up. I think the read up is the same on all of them, but I really like the pictures on there. I like the image on the side. You get to open the flap. You get to see the figure look in there, looking good with the barcode. Found this one at Walmart if you want to check them out for it. Then taking a look at Leo's box here. Love that artwork on the side. That looks fantastic. Again, I think it's the same read-up. Nice images on the back. This one I got off of the Neca Toys website directly, which I don't usually like doing, but it was only 10 bucks for shipping, and I haven't seen anywhere else get it. So there is Leo. Next up, you have the best turtle. You have Donatello looking awesome. Really, really like the way that he looks. There's the barcode. I also found this one at Walmart a couple weeks ago, so they are hitting. I've seen it multiple times, so definitely go check your Walmarts. Use this barcode if you're looking for him. And then finally, I wanted this version. The original version, or the first version of this Raphael, has been out for a while, and I've seen it a couple times, but I wanted this version specifically, and we'll talk about why that is in a minute. But there is Raphael, looking all beat up and battered, so he looked great. I love this artwork on the front. What a really great piece of artwork. So yeah, I've been sitting on a couple of these for a while now, so without further ado, let's go ahead and open these brothers up. So, getting these turtles out of the packaging, I gotta say, it's pretty incredible how good this set is. I was not expecting to like this set as much as I did, but I'm really happy that I waited and, you know, got them, because they are it's a ridiculous amount of detail in these things. I mean, sure, there are arguments to be made about like certain aspects of these figures that maybe aren't great, but you gotta respect how much detail NECA pours into their action figures, and these are a great example of that. So I guess we'll start with my least favorite and work to my favorite, which is not the usual suspects for my least favorite to favorite kind of thing. So let's go ahead and start my least favorite, Michelangelo. Now, I was on the fence with him. I was saying, since, spoiler alert, I don't know if this is a spoiler anymore, but the Last Ronin being Michelangelo, I was really asking myself, do I need this Michelangelo? Saw him in person, and I fell in love immediately. I said, okay, I'm going to get him. And I'm not disappointed despite him being my least favorite. He is still incredibly well executed. I just think he's my least favorite out of the bunch. But just because he's my least favorite does not mean he's a bad figure. It's still really, really good. So, taking a look at this head sculpt here, they mimic that art style beautifully. Like, that is exactly what I expect it to look like based off of this comic book. It's amazing. And the amount of detail that they put into this body and stuff is nuts. The speckles, the black lineage, the washes, the dry brushes. I mean, like, I can't even point out every little detail that's on here. Like, even just, like, painting this one red. Like, it's nuts. All these little patches are painted. Not really sure how I feel about there being little green in the sleeve area. Like, at the elbow joint, that looks a little weird. But it's insane. I mean, like, look at the detail on the back. All those pouches are painted. All these borders on the pads are painted. I guess he has, like, a hood. Oh, my God. The wraps on the feet look insane. It's just detailed to the nines. For the price point, it's insane how much they put into this. I think the sculpt and the paint I have no complaints, no notes at all with that. In terms of accessories, I think Michelangelo fares the weakest out of the bunch, but, you know, it's not bad. You get kind of like general open hands. You get a pair of like karate chop hands, I guess, or like flat palmed hands. Then you get a pair of gripping hands. They look good. All the paint on each of them is amazing. You get an alternate head, kind of like a little bit of a snarling one. I actually think I prefer this one, so let's see how that looks on there. All pops on very nicely. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave that one on there. That looks pretty good. He's a very serious, angry Michelangelo. And finally, you get the nunchukas. So, looks pretty good. Real chains. Some people like that, some people don't. I prefer it. I think it looks good. So, he doesn't really have that many accessories unless I lost something or misplaced something, but I'm pretty sure that's all he came with. So, that's not amazing, but I'm not upset about it. In terms of articulation, the head's going to go up, down, pivot side to side, and rotate. Beautiful ball, double ball peg up there. Shoulders will go up. They're a little different, but shoulders will go up just below horizontal. They'll go down. Rotate 360 on both sides. I'm showing both because they're different. You get double jointed elbows, where it works better if you move the bottom, like the upper arm joint first, and then the wrist swivel and hinge. Same on this side. You're gonna want to push that one and then move that one, and they get past 90, which is nice. There's a diaphragm joint in here that gets a little bit of movement. It'll rotate, you know, arcing and crunching. This is hollow. Look at that. I just noticed that little peeking shell out of there, but it's all hollow. So, you know, I expect that with turtles. It's not that big a deal. Hips go outwards, only that far. They'll go down. He'll kick forward that far back. Upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knees, which I kind of like the way they did the knees here. Looks good. The pads are a separate piece, which is good. And it'll rotate in there as well, but it doesn't look weird, so I'm okay with it. And then the ankle goes down and up and will pivot. So definitely not the most articulated Ninja Turtle we've ever seen. But I don't know. Like, parts of me are okay with that. I look at these guys as like big and bulky and intimidating. And for that, they really do accomplish that. Next up, I'm going to go Leonardo. Yeah, he's kind of low on my list here, but I don't know. I think it's just because I'm not a huge fan of this design for Leonardo. It just doesn't look like he has a shell almost at all. And I get that that's comic accurate and it looks good, but it's just not, I don't know, it's not my favorite look for him. But what is here is super well done. One part of the design I do like are these white banded like glove wraps. I really, really like those, how high they go. They're painted really nicely on the legs and the arms. I'm a big fan of that. I like all the paintwork on the chest. Looks really good. The wash on the cloak or whatever it is really nice. And you do get a nice little logo on the shoulder pad there. Not sure how I feel about his face. He's kind of got like a cute little face, but I don't really want him to look cute right now, if that makes sense. Plus, this does not come off. So, I mean, like, you could, I guess, untab it. Oh. Well, I did. I'm going to glue it back on. But if you're a fan of that, I mean, you could put some putty in there and then whatever. But personally, I'm just going to leave it on because I don't feel like doing all that. That's a lot of extra work for something I don't care to do, I guess. Right now, this is loose, but whatever. The legs look good. They got a nice wash on them. I think his proportions are a little weird, too. Like, I'm trying to... Let me see. This is not terrible. That's a good turtle. Proportions. I'm going to leave this off for now, I guess. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, it's just, again, I think it looks good, but I'm just not a fan of this design. Also, why is there yellow under there? I don't know. But the head is on another double ball peg, but I think Mikey's works a little bit better. This is still really good, though. Who am I kidding? And all the bandanas rotate, by the way. So that's on across all the figures, which is good. Pass horizontal, rotate 360, bicep swivel. I don't know if I mentioned that on Michelangelo. He has a bicep swivel too. Double jointed elbows, and then all the wrist swivel and hinge horizontally. He has a lot of paint fleckage from the hands. Not the biggest thing in the world, just something to mention. Diaphragm joint is really just going to act as a rotation. It's not going to do much, and that's totally okay. Hips, on this side, it goes out more than this side. I guess that's because of this pad here. Yeah, it like clashes with that, and that's fine. Hips will kick forward that much. Back, upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knees. Again, they look kind of weird, but they also work. So I'm not, with these baggy pants, I'm not upset about it. It'll rotate up in there, and then the ankle will go down and up and pivot. So again, it's not my favorite design for Leonardo, but it works. And I do think that it looks pretty cool once you have them posed up. I keep putting them in these like fighting stance poses, but I can't help it. They just they look so imposing. Oh, it looks really nice like that. I just realized I didn't go over any accessories for Leonardo. I don't know why I did that, so I'm going to have to edit this in. But I do have, or he does come with an open pair of clenchy hands. He comes with an open pair of karate chop hands. These are definitely karate chops, whereas Mikey's were kind of just flat palmed hands. You do get a pair of gripping hands that hold his katana. They look good. I like that a lot. Very good paint on these. It's nuts. I just leave them on there. You get 5 kunai. Very, very small. You get 5 of these. Not a really good hand to hold them, to be honest, but I'm not really going to use them anyway. And then you do get an alternate head, which I definitely like more. So popping this off here and plugging this on, I definitely like this head more, for sure. Definitely looks more menacing. So yeah. I mean, I always picture this comic book as being dark and gritty, and they're all angry. So, yeah, this looks good. Sorry about the accessories thing. That was weird. Next up, we have the main man himself, Donatello. And I gotta say, I like this design for him. I think he looks the most unique. The other ones just kind of look like armored turtles, whereas he kind of has a gi going on, and he looks cool. He's got a light-colored carapace, though, which is kind of interesting. So, I only have one really big problem with this guy, and the rest of it's pretty damn good. But taking a look at the head sculpt here, I really like the way the head looks. He looks wise. Looks like he's seen a lot. This hat does come off, and that's my biggest issue with this figure. I hate the way the hat sits on the head. It does not sit well at all, so it's really hard to pose him. It's just very finicky. So my advice is pose the head and then put the hat on. It'll make your life a lot easier. The wash on the shoulder pads and all the armor looks fantastic. Looks really, really nice. All the details in there. It's nuts. Again, I will say this could have been painted a lot better. I didn't really notice it, and it doesn't bother me too much, but you can see there's the sculpt for this little logo, and it just missed the mark completely. I like this purple band down here. Looks good. You can see a little bit of shell underneath there. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I like the feet, the legs. They look good. The back with all these pouches look nice. You get to see his arms. Looks very cool. Again, not my favorite design for Donatello, but I think he looks the most unique out of these turtles, which is nice. So I also think he excels in the accessory department. So he comes with a slew of different hands, including his own karate chop hands, which are specific to, each turtle's hands are specific to them. You get a clenching hand set. You only get one grip hand, though, which I'm not a huge fan of. That's another complaint that I have with this. You only get one grip hand, and you can use that, of course, to hold his bow staff. I like this little, what do you call it? This little tie on it, I guess. That is pretty cool. The bow staff looks wonderful. Very thin bow staff for Donatello. Then you get an alternate head. Dude, he looks chunky. Why he looks so chunky? But you get another head for Donnie. Looks good. He looks angry. Again, I probably like this. No, I probably like the solemn one for Donnie a little bit more. And then you get this little piece here that plugs into his back, which can be used for one of two things. Either the bow staff that we showed. This does rotate, by the way, in this hole. Or this flag thing. I don't really know if there's a specific name for this. But I like this. This looks really cool. And it's cloth. Looks nice. And like I said, this can slide in his back. I actually found it. I was gotta pause it. Nope, I found it. So this, I guess put this on first, but put this in, pop that on. It looks really good. I like that quite a bit. So it's a very unique, definitely brings out their Japanese origin, which is cool, or their Japanese heritage. I like that. So very, very cool. Something you've never really seen with a Donatello. In terms of accessories, I'm definitely taking the hat off because the hat drives me nuts. The head's going to look up that far. It goes down, not so much, and pivot side to side. It'll rotate. He's got a fat head, so he doesn't really look up that good, but his shoulders do. His shoulders are definitely the best so far. Both of them, despite being different sculpts. It'll rotate 360, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and then the wrist swivel and hinge. His diaphragm joint's like kind of like a ball joint in here. Again, really not going to do much, and I don't really care. It doesn't bother me that much. Hips go out that far, they go down. He's only going to kick forward to there. Yeah, he's got big chunky like pants. Knees, double jointed knees are going to go that far. They'll go down. They'll rotate there, and then the ankle goes down, up, and pivot. So nothing crazy for the articulation. Definitely not great, but I guess it's enough for this iteration of Donatello. I definitely just picture him being more menacing, that kind of thing. And then easily, by far, the best figure out of this set, and probably one of the best figures of the year, has to go to Raphael. This thing is nuts. And for anybody who knows, Raph's my least favorite turtle. So for me to be putting him at the top of the list so easily, you know it's a good figure. So taking a look at the head sculpt here, you get to see all that blood, that two-toned blood that looks fantastic. I really, really like that. The black lineage looks great. You get all this blood around his arms. That looks fantastic. I love the wash on these pads. All over the body look fantastic. Get to see blood everywhere. Oh, man, it looks so good. The shell looks great. I like the shape of it. It's like hollow inside, and you'll see why in a second, but these knee pads look good. Yeah, they killed it on this Raphael. I also like his proportions the most, like the longer legs, the rounder body. It just looks good. In terms of accessories, he's going to come with the most easily. So he comes with a pair of clenching hands, of course, dabbled in blood. This is the first to fall version, which I think is the better version. We'll talk about why. You get a pair of grip hands. They look good. You get a pair of karate chop hands. They also look nice. And then you get a, whatever this thing is, like a big kunai. I don't know. Let me know if you know what this weapon is. I do not know what this one's called. You get one of those, and then you get an alternate head. Screaming head. Gotta get the screaming head on Raph. Oh, why not go on? There we go. Yeah, gotta get the screaming head on Raph. That looks fantastic. Great emotion there. That looks great. Then you get, of course, you gotta give him his two sai. Very, very nicely done. Great paint, nice and firm. And then you get a slew of arrows. You get one of these red arrows, which is significant in the story. That one's going to go through his leg. So you just kind of get it at the right angle and push through his leg. We're going to do this together. And then you're going to flip them over, and you see all these little notches. You're going to get all of these arrows. So you get one, push that in there. 2, push that in there. 3, push that in there. 5, push that in there. 6, push that in there. 7, push that in there. 8, push that in there. 9, push that in there. 9 arrows to get on his back. And this is nuts to me. This is so damn good. This is the reason I waited for this one. It's just, I guess it's a new sculpt for the shell. I love this. The first to fall Raphael, so if you want, you can have him dead, essentially. Looks great. That is, I've never seen anything like that with an action figure. That is so awesome. It'll take up a lot of space on the shelf, but I totally think that it's worth it for this storyline. This is such a cool accessory set. I absolutely love it. So, unfortunately for now, I'm going to take all these arrows off. But man, that is so well done. The head goes up, down, pivot side to side. We'll rotate all the way around. Shoulders only go up to about there. He's got big chunky shoulders. They'll rotate, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, which probably are the best out of all of them. Wrist swivel and hinge. Diaphragm joint really is not going to do much on him at all. Just kind of pivots up in there just a little bit. Hips go out that far. They'll go down. He'll kick forward, back, knee swivel, but upper thigh rotation too. Double jointed knees as well, which are perfect range. No calf swivel, which is fine, and then the ankles go down and up beautifully and pivot. So yeah, tons of paint, great accessories, the best articulation out of the bunch. This is one of the best Raphaels I've ever seen in a long time. It's morbid, but it is so damn good. Here they are next to the Jazzwares Fortnite Series Peely, along with the Neca Toys King Kong. Here they are next to the McFarlane Toys Dark Knight Returns Batman, along with the Hasbro Marvel Legends X-Men Series Darwin. And here they are with the Hasbro Marvel Legends What If Series Zombie Captain America. Like I said earlier, I like getting them in those punching poses, so I thought I'd do a little simple pose here, getting them in some nice jocking it up poses. So, what are my final thoughts on these figures? Some of you may be asking, and as you probably could have guessed, I think they're pretty damn awesome. The paint and sculpt is actually just ridiculous on these things. Like, the amount of detail that Neca pours into their action figures sometimes, most of the time, pretty much all the time, is insane. And these are like a really good example of that. That Raphael is nuts. Like, absolutely nuts how much detail they got into him. He is awesome. Donatello looks great. Michelangelo surprised me. And Leo, while not my favorite design, is executed beautifully. So, yeah. Overall, I think that this is an amazing set of turtles and another great batch to add to my collection. So, with that being said, at a price point of around, let's say, $35 to $40 a piece, I'm giving them each a 9. I'm giving Donnie, Mikey, and Leo a 9 out of 10. I'm giving Raph a 10. 10 out of 10. So, with all that being said, I believe that's all I got for today. If you have not already, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Letterboxd. Post a lot on all of those apps, and have a great time, so I'm sure you will too. But as always, let me know. You copping? See you guys in the next one. Peace. What goes on, guys? I wanted to hop on here again and thank you all for watching, and to let you know that if the following apps interest you, feel free to follow me on them, as I put the links in the description for you guys. I really appreciate everything you all do for me, so DM me with any questions or thoughts. I'd love to sit and talk with you all. Again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.